thrill me.
This show is part of the Thrill Me Podcast Network. Experience more on Facebook and YouTube.
It's Review It Man, reviewing what he can. Movies are his jam, so let's get twisted, man. It's Review It Rob.
Hey yo, welcome into the Review It Rob show. This week we are talking Mean Girls 2024, as well as any and all news going on around the realm of movie. DC horror news mandatory every single episode, and then we'll give you some other things going on around the movie world. So again, appreciate you joining in to listen to this show. I love doing this show, and I love that y'all are here listening to it, man. So jumping in, Mean Girls 2024 is PG-13 for teen drinking, strong language, and sexual material. The film is a musical / comedy. Some people apparently didn't know it was a musical. It runs at 1 hour and 52 minutes and is in theaters. From the comedic mind of Tina Fey comes a new twist on the modern classic Mean Girls. New student Cady Heron, played by Angourie Rice, is welcomed into the top of the social food chain by the elite group of popular girls called the Plastics, ruled by the conniving Queen Bee Regina George, played by Renee Rapp, and her minions Gretchen and Karen. However, when Katie makes the major misstep of falling for Regina's ex-boyfriend Aaron Samuels, she finds herself prey in Regina's crosshairs. As Caddy sets to take down the group's apex predator with a group of her outcast friends Janice and Damien, she must learn how to stay true to herself while navigating the most cutthroat jungle of all, high school. Rotten Tomatoes critics have it at a 71%, while the audience is at a 68%, pretty close there in scoring, and IMDb has it at a 6.4 out of 10. So, what were my thoughts on the film? So, Mean Girls. Original film came out in 2004, man. I can't believe it was 2004, 20 years ago. Awesome that they did this movie 20 years later. That's pretty cool. So I've seen the original movie plenty of times. I watched it again before going to see this movie. Still enjoy it. Fantastic film. Love it. Good time, as always. Great cast in that film. So going into this movie, I already knew it was a musical. I'm surprised a lot of people didn't know this was a musical going in. I mean, the logo, for crying out loud, has a musical symbol in it. And again, just pay attention. It's right there. It's obvious that it's a musical going in. So I don't know how people aren't seeing that this is a musical. It is inspired by the Broadway play that they made off of the Mean Girls film in 2004. Now, I have not seen that Broadway play, so I didn't really know any of the songs going in, what to pay attention to, any of that stuff. I was just going in to watch a movie, man. So, went in there, enjoyed every single flipping second of this movie. Like, I kid you not, I had a fantastic time with the film. And reading the synopsis there, it sounds just like the 2004 movie, and it pretty much is basically a lot like the 2004 movie. Now, they did expand on a little more scenes, give a little more detail and backstory, and kind of make things make a little more sense in this film, which I did enjoy. For instance, Aaron Samuels is in calculus class, but they make him seem like pretty dumb. In the first movie, this movie, he's still not the brightest kid in the world, but they don't make him seem full out dumb, right? So stuff like that I appreciated. And I had a fantastic time with this movie, man. The musical aspect didn't bother me at all. It didn't catch me off guard. I enjoyed everything I was heard. Like, as soon as I left the theater, like, I was watching the movie, I'm like, yep, downloading that song. Yep, downloading that song. Yep, downloading that song. Like, I did. As soon as I got out of the theater, downloaded those 4 songs that I fell in love with listening to them in the film. And, I have added them to my 2024 playlist. And, listened to them immediately when leaving the theater. Like, I loved every single aspect of this movie. The movie's still fun, good time, just like the 2004 film. It's a great time. The cast is incredible. We got Tina Fey back. We've got Tim Meadows back. We got them back, but we have a whole new cast of, the kids, of course. They're all fantastic. They all delivered perfectly in those roles. And again, the cast of the 2004 film is so iconic and so well loved and all that, but I think every single person in this film absolutely delivered in their roles and killed it, man. Freaking Angourie is fantastic as Cady, or Katie. Freaking Renee as Regina is so freaking awesome, right? Freaking Shaquille. Sorry if I mess up your name. Suck with names, but him as Damien, so freaking good. And dude, I'm gonna mess up her name as well. Louis, who plays Janice in this film. Of course, you may know her. She was the voice for freaking Moana from the Moana movie. She's in this movie. She's killing it. Great to hear her singing again. Like there's not an aspect of this movie where I wasn't having a good time. There was not an aspect of this movie where I wasn't drawn into the film. There wasn't a moment where I'm like, why did we remake this or anything like that. It's entertainment at its best from start to finish. Like I cannot say anything bad about this movie. Like there's nothing I can literally say about the movie. I couldn't even try to make up something to say bad about this movie. It is fantastic from start to finish, entertaining from start to finish. Love what they did. They again, it's a remake. It's a Broadway version. It's the Broadway version of the 2004 film. So yes, there's similarities, but they added enough to it to kind of make it interesting and awesome in its own way. And it's just, it's so good. Freaking love this movie. So, I mean, of the 3 new films I've seen this year, easily my favorite film of the year so far. We'll see how it ends up at the end of the year because it's a lot of time to go. But I can easily see this movie being in my list of favorite films of 2024 because, again, it just delivered on every single beat that I needed it to deliver on. I had a great time from start to finish. I don't understand how people didn't know this was a musical. But even though the fact that it was a musical, it worked so good. It works so flipping good. It is entertainment through and through. So worth the watch. So I had a great time. I might try to go see this movie again. Now that it's tough. We have 2 more movies coming out this week to see, but actually pretty packed couple of weeks coming up movie-wise. But definitely hope to see this movie again in theaters because it is so freaking entertainingly good. So yes, Mean Girls 2024 is just as good, if not better, than the 2004 film. I'm sitting on that, honestly. Because again, I watched them back to back. I watched Mean Girls 2004, and then I saw the new one in theaters the next day. And honestly, I might like this movie more, and that's not a strike on 2004. That movie's still fantastic as well, but this one is just something special. This one's really, really something special and worth seeing. So go out to theaters and see this movie ASAP. That is my thoughts on Mean Girls 2024. If you've seen it, let me know what you thought in the comments below. Now, jumping into news, we'll kick it off with DC because there's not much to really talk about here. The main thing kind of going around right now is there's been some names circulating around the Supergirl casting that apparently there's some test things going on. James Gunn said that he doesn't know why stuff like that would be announced before with actors, and he hasn't really clarified anything here either. So we're not going to go into those names or anything like that. Again, it's just more rumors on the internet about possible casting and all that. We will, of course, talk about the actual casting when it actually happens on this show. But other than that, not much to really talk about around the DC realm. So going from there, we're going to jump into the horror side of the show. With the first thing being here, hits close to me, The Exorcist Deceiver film has been put on delay. The film's release date has been delayed and taken off of Universal Pictures' upcoming release schedule as it was expected to release next year, as director David Gordon Green has left the project, which is not new news. If you've been listening to the show regularly, you know this is something I've talked about possibly happening before. This was talked about before with David Gordon Green talking about stepping aside from doing the next Exorcist film. So, the Exorcist Believer movie has been met with a lot of negativity from a lot of people, but people close to me and in my group of friends, and even my brother, have all enjoyed that movie. So I don't know why people don't like this movie, but it is what it is. You're allowed to have your own opinions. I thoroughly enjoyed The Exorcist Believer, and I am still excited for anything else they're going to do Exorcist-wise because the movie will still happen. Universal and Blumhouse spent a lot of money on the Exorcist rights, so they will still make these movies. It is just on hold for now, and we will see what happens. Other news going on in the horror realm is that we will be returning to Fear Street. This time we'll be joining The Prom Queen. The film The Prom Queen is in development over at Netflix. Described as a spring night, soft moonlight, 5 beautiful prom queen candidates, dancing couples at Shadyside High prom. These should be the ingredients for romance, but stir in one brutal murder, then another, and the recipe quickly turns to horror. So this movie, like the other 3 Fear Street films, we had 3 already on Netflix, are from R.L. Stine's best-selling novels. So obviously very excited. I enjoyed all 3 of those other Fear Street films. I love the Goosebumps books. I read those when I was a kid. They were my introduction to horror, and so excited for more Fear Street. Just good time, man. Good time all around with those Fear Street movies. I'm honestly wanting to check out the other 3 again. It's been quite some time since I saw those 3 films, but I am excited that they're doing more. It's great to see, and love that R.L. Stein's getting some more work, man, because he freaking deserves it. So there you go there. That's about all I got horror for you. So let's go ahead and jump over to other bits of news before we get out of here. Starting with Star News. We got news on both Star Wars and Star Trek for this episode. Starting it off with Star Wars is getting another movie, and this one will be titled The Mandalorian and Grogu, and will be directed by Jon Favreau. This is, of course, coming from the success of The Mandalorian show that's had 3 seasons so far, with a 4th coming. This just reminds me that I need to watch the show. I watched a couple episodes and then just got distracted by other things. Was enjoying the couple episodes I did see of The Mandalorian show, so definitely will be a welcome return. Probably just start over, to be honest with you. But it would be a welcome return back to the Mandalorian world, and good to see that they're getting a movie, man. Good for Jon Favreau as well. He's been doing great work over there. I mean, it was him and Iron Man that helped spark the success of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and he's been doing good things over there for Star Wars, man. So it's good to see that he is getting a film with the Mandalorian and Grogu. So there you go. And it is Grogu, it's not Baby Yoda. Yeah, I mean, you can call it Baby Yoda if you want to, but it's Grogu. Other Star Wars news is that they're apparently getting a What If show on Disney Plus. Now, if you're not familiar, What If is a animated show that they do for Marvel, where it's like they make up, storylines like what if this character was here, or what if this character was this character, and blah 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 blah. And I've enjoyed those actually. I've had a good time with both of them, and it's interesting to see what they'll do with Star Wars. It'll be a fun time. People are making their jokes, of course, but it'll be fun to see what they come up with over there for the what if side of things with Star Wars. Now, on the other Star side, Star Trek, there is a new film in the works over at Paramount with Andor's Toby Haynes on board to direct. Plot details are not known at the moment. They're being kept under wraps, but the upcoming feature will be an origin story that is set decades before the 2009 Star Trek film. Now, speaking of that Star Trek 2009 film and its 2 other movies that have behind it in that trilogy, there is still a 4th installment of that Star Trek film series in development, with the studio describing it as, quote, the final chapter. So, good news for Star Trek fans over there. You've got a new film on the way that's going to be a prequel to that one, and then you have a 4th film in those awesome trilogy. Like, I enjoyed all 3 of those films, had a great time with all of them, and I've been waiting for something for a while. We've been teased back and forth with this one, so we'll see if it actually happens or not. With them having 2, maybe even 3, because there's other news to talk about Star Trek movie-wise. But them having so much going on over there, we'll see what happens right now. But nonetheless, Star Trek is moving. And I say maybe 3 because freaking Patrick Stewart has said that Star Trek Picard has a movie currently in the works as well. Now, the Picard show is something I have not seen. I have not watched it. I believe it is on Paramount Plus. But I've heard good things, right? So if they do a movie, freaking Patrick Stewart's awesome, right? Sir Patrick Stewart, excuse me. He's awesome. Love Picard. Picard's really cool. Loved him in The Next Generation and all that. So if doing a movie there is cool. Having 3 Star Trek movies in the works, interesting times, man. Interesting times to say the least, but not meaning that in like a bad way. That's really cool that they're working on something over there, and more power to them, dude. Go ahead and create some stuff, man. Get out there for the Trek fans. Are they called Trekkies? Trekkies, I believe they're called. Hopefully they like being called that. Let's see. Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise has got a lot going on. He has signed a deal over there with Warner Brothers to start making movies with them, which is good. It's awesome. Love to see Warner Brothers and Tom Cruise working together. There's been long rumors that Tom Cruise would be doing something with DC, being the Green Lantern. Hal Jordan has been something that's been mentioned multiple times with Tom Cruise in the past. We'll see if anything happens DC-wise, but he will definitely be working with Warner Brothers, who is said to be hoping to move forward with a sequel to 2014's Edge of Tomorrow film, which starred Tom Cruise as well. So now that they're working together, maybe there's a very good chance of that happening. Now, on the other side of things with Tom Cruise, Top Gun 3 has been put into development over at Paramount, of course, and Tom Cruise has a history with Paramount. He's done a lot of work over there. Currently shooting Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 2. I don't know. Maybe they changed the name. I don't know. But the next Mission Impossible film to continue on from their last one. So, still doing stuff over the Paramount, which gives us the wonder and the thought process. If you remember, there was rumors going around that Warner Brothers and Paramount would merge at some point. Warner Brothers, of course, has had some bankruptcy issues, and there's been rumors that Warner Brothers could be sold off to Universal, which I would much prefer. But there are the rumors of Warner Brothers and Paramount merging, and now, of course, Tom Cruise joining and working with Warner Brothers with his history at Paramount. It kind of gets your ears to point up a little bit and start thinking maybe something is happening there, So we have to keep our eyes on that one. But nonetheless, good for Tom Cruise, man. Warner Brothers is working with him to work on some things. Again, we'll see what happens DC wise, and he's got Top Gun 3 apparently in development, and he's currently shooting Mission Impossible, man. So big buck and a win over there for Tom Cruise and all Tom Cruise fans. Let's see some more news here. We've got a lot of movie release dates moving up, it looks like. So starting with Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Long name. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is being moved up to May 10th. This will move it 2 weeks up from its original release date of May 24th. Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire, will be moving up to March 29th from its previous date of April 12th. And Ghostbusters Frozen Empire has moved up a week to March 22nd, 2024, as opposed to March 29th, its original release date, man. So big movies, anticipated films. I believe all these movies were on our anticipated list. So check that out. We did that over there on our YouTube, the Early Podcast Network YouTube. Please like, subscribe, and share over there. Check out that anticipated list. Yeah, I'm pretty sure all these movies made at least one of our anticipated lists. Ghostbusters may have made all of our lists. King of the Planet of the Apes was on mine. And I feel like one of us said Godzilla X Kong. But yeah, man, good to see those movies are coming sooner rather than later. Let's see, we touched on everything. Yes, one more thing to talk about here, and then the show is over, man. So, last bit of news is that Margot Robbie, the fantastic actress, says she is taking a break from taking a break from acting. And one of the quotes she threw out there was, quote, "I also think everybody's probably sick of the sight of me for now. I should probably disappear from screens for a while. Honestly, if I did another movie too soon, people would say, her again? We just did a whole summer with her. We're over it. I don't know what I'll do next, but I hope it's a little while away," end quote. Margot Robbie has been very busy working on multiple films. We have seen her a lot on the big screen, and what I will say to that is I will never in my life ever get tired of seeing Margot Robbie on screen. Are you kidding me? Are you flipping kidding me? She is fantastic. She is awesome. She is a very good actress. One of my favorite actresses, and she's talented. Okay, so I would never get tired of seeing her. A lot of people would probably never get tired of seeing her on screen, for many reasons. But yeah, if she wants to take a break, good on her. She deserves a break. It has been just killing it. She's been killing it for quite some time. I feel like since Suicide Squad in 2016. I feel like since 2016 she's just been bigger and bigger, and starring in all these films. And of course, last year Barbie was the biggest movie of the year, right? So, yeah, she deserves a break nonetheless. Take some time to relax, and she deserves it. So, I will not get tired of seeing Margot, but yes, I agree she should take some time back to relax, recoup, enjoy her successful work, man, and her hard work, right? All of us should do that, right? Sometimes we should just take a step back, relax, and take in the good life and appreciate what we got, right? So there you go, man. That is the show. Mean Girls 2024. Fantastic musical film, man. Go enjoy it. Have a good time with it. Listen to the soundtrack like crazy, like I will. And that is your news for this week's episode. Hope you enjoyed the show. Appreciate you joining in. And as always, remember that happiness can be found even in the darkest of times if one remembers only to turn on the light. Talk to you all next episode.